Why don't you give me a sign?
This is Corinna Jane.
The leaves are trailing on that shore. It's not your problem, it's mine.
With her brand new single, Give Me a Sign.
Me to your door while the world still spins.
As featured on BBC Introducing.
It's just the way it's gotta be. Give me a sign about the things that we don't know. Why don't you give me a sign?
Corinna Jane, Give Me a Sign. Out now.
It's not your problem, it's mine.
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
So it's wonderful to speak to you today. How's everything going? You looking forward to things opening back up?
I am, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's not been that quiet for me during lockdown, and probably people are going to get frustrated to hear that. But it was quieter for me before lockdown because I was so busy in my 9 to 5 job, and then when I got put on furlough, I was able to just plug into my acting a lot more, and like I updated my headshots, I updated my show reel, and then we started getting booked as a family unit because my kids are actors as well. So we started getting booked for work as a family unit because obviously I would normally go on a job and have a pretend child and a pretend husband, but they couldn't do that anymore because of lockdown. When they found out that my kids could act and that my husband was he's not an official actor, but he's actually really good. They booked us as a whole family for different projects and commercials and things like that. So
That's very cool.
busier than ever. So but I'm not really able to. I'm probably not even in a position to be able to go out to a restaurant or a party because I'm so busy with work.
Right.
Which
Okay.
is a nice problem to have.
Yeah, it is absolutely. So if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the film industry?
Yes, there was. Funnily enough, when I was about 23, I did a crime scene reconstruction. So I was playing the murder victim, which wasn't very nice. But I really, really enjoyed the whole filming process because, in contrast to that, I'd only ever done commercials, which are kind of quite quick, and you're selling a product and you're in and out, and you've probably got 1 or 2 lines. But this was like a full-on film to reconstruct this crime. And we were filming for probably about 8-9 hours. And I remember the director saying to me, we're probably going to need you a couple more hours. So we're shooting into the night. And I remember just not being fazed by it and just being like, that's fine. And I thought, gosh, and I went home and I was like buzzing from being on a film set all day. And I just thought, this is the career for me. I wasn't tired. I was excited. I was energized. I love taking direction and just, like being another person. I kind of just escape and go off into my own world. So that was my definitive moment that when I decided, no, I'm going to be an actor. That's my thing.
That's awesome. And you got the bug from there. Nice.
Yeah.
So you're known as one of the world's most famous lookalike artists. How did you get into that?
I hate it. It was just a fluke because obviously I've been acting for like 15 years, and then all of a sudden I got told I looked like this woman who I didn't even know who she was. She wasn't the Duchess by this point. She was an actress in Suits, and I still didn't know who she was. Very good actress in Suits, and someone just told me in a cafe, "You look like Meghan." Gosh, you really look like Meghan. And I was like, "Who's Meghan?" Meghan Markle. So I went to Google her, and all my family were like, "Gosh, yeah, you do." And the kids were like, "Mum, you do. You've got a twin sister." And didn't think anything of it. And then a couple of months later, her face is all over the news because she's engaged to Prince Harry. And then lo and behold, I start getting messages, ping, on my Facebook, on my WhatsApp. Gosh, have you seen that woman who's getting married to Harry, you look exactly like her. And then all the comments started, and I just thought, I didn't even think it was a thing, because like my dad growing up, my dad's always looked like Richard Gere, but he hasn't like made a career out of it. So I was just fobbing it off. And then my agent called me and said, do you know, you could actually get booked for work. I was like, what do you mean booked for work? You could get booked for work as Meghan. What, doing what? So she was like, you know, if you want to do it kind of on the side to your acting, then let me know. And I was a bit hesitant, and people were calling it like look-alike-y. And I thought that sounded a bit cheesy, and wasn't sure. So she said, well, look, you can pick and choose what jobs you want to do. You might even get some commercials as Meghan. And, you know, and you might even get like a documentary or a film if they do one about her life. So don't write it off. So then she gently persuaded me to take the jump and do some work as Meghan. And it kind of nicely crosses over, really. Like, it's the same skill set when I'm putting my makeup on or my hair and putting my Meghan clothes on. It's the same. I become a character, which is the same as what I would do if I was playing a lawyer or a police officer, you know, for a drama or a series or a soap. I would get, as I was getting changed and getting my makeup on, I would get into that character. So it's the same process that I'm doing. So it's just been like great to have loads of work, you know, when the acting scene's quiet, to be able to do the Meghan stuff. But it has kind of been shelved for a while now, because I was getting bored of just turning up and being the same person all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's why I say I don't like being defined as the world's #1 lookalike. I know it's quite hard not to be, because you put my name in Google and Meghan and me and Meghan is all that comes up. It's a bit hard to get away from it, but yeah, that's my goal, I think, this year, and I think I'm achieving it. I've only done about 5 Meghan jobs this year so far, and I've probably done about 15 jobs doing other characters, which is nice.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, soon enough you'll be away from that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless the Crown call and they want me to play Meghan in the Crown, I'm not going to say no to that.
Well, no, I mean, that's the Crown. It's like one of the excuse the pun, but it's one of the crown jewels of Netflix at the moment.
Exactly.
So yeah, and they are getting to that. I think they're getting to that point in the timeline.
Well, they're certainly casting. They're casting now for Series 5.
Yeah.
A friend of mine has been called in for a casting, which is very frustrating. So I know they're casting for Series 5. Whether they'll go as far, and I know they're casting a Harry and a William, but whether they'll go as far as when Harry meets Meghan is the big time question for me. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, there's always season 6.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah, because it's showing no signs of slowing down. So
no, definitely
there's
not.
always going to be a chance, I reckon.
Yeah.
So you recently shot the lockdown monologues. Do you have any memories from filming that will stick with you throughout your career?
With the lockdown monologues, that was really moving for me to shoot that, because I did that about my granddad, and my granddad's still alive. My grandma sadly died about 14 years ago, and she was like my bestest friend in the whole world, and she was also really, really close to my granddad, so that hit him hard. And then with lockdown, that really hit him hard, because he couldn't see any of us. He couldn't get to the shops. So I did the lockdown monologue all about my granddad. It's called Paying Granddad Back. And it was because he's always looked after me, and it was my chance to look after him, take him food round, leave it on his doorstep. So that was a very emotional piece. And I was really grateful to the writer for kind of co-writing that with me.
Okay. Awesome. You're also gearing up to star in Reduced to Clear. What are you allowed to tell us about that film?
It is set in a charity shop. Most of it's set in a charity shop. The manager of the charity shop is Simon Fisher Becker. And Ewan McIntosh is also in it. A great actor called Andy Kind, who actually played a character in The Crown. And basically, I play a character called Lily, who is a frustrated wife who keeps trying to wind her husband up, which is basically like me in real life. So I'm really excited to play it. So they go into this charity shop and she does something, I won't say what it is, but she does something in the shop to wind him up. And then there's all this, off the back of that, there's all this like drama that happens in the shop. So I really like it because it reminds me of, like, you know, those kind of farcical comedies where it's bordering on this wouldn't happen in real life, but because it's happening, it's absolutely hilarious. So we did the read through a couple of months ago, and I just couldn't. I'm just laughing at every single line, trying not to laugh at my lines. But it's gonna be good.
Cool. Do you know when you start filming?
Yes, August the 21st.
Nice. Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what is your preferred genre, and do you have any favorite films and TV shows?
You can probably guess comedy is my favorite genre. My favorite TV show at the moment, you're going to laugh. I was going to say Meet the Richardsons. I really enjoy that at the moment, just because but I've got two. It's Meet the Richardsons and one called Motherland.
All right, cool.
Have you seen Motherland?
I haven't seen Motherland, and I've not seen Meet the Richardsons either. I know what Meet the Richardsons is, though.
Yeah, so Meet the Richardsons, obviously starring John Richardson, the comedian, and Lucy Beaumont. They're both comedians, but they're both polar opposites. So that's the thing that I love about it, because she wants to go to all these like celebrity parties and even like these celebrity guest shows that they both get invited on. And he's basically just like, no, says no to everything, not going to that, not going to this. He's just like a hermit that wants to stay in on his own, never socialise, which just reminds me so much of me and my husband. But it's just the way that they're still in love. They're still a gorgeous couple, but they like, the whole comedy is them just digging at each other all the time. Like, I hate you. She'll say things like, I hate you. I wish you'd just go and have an affair, just because then at least you might come home a happier guy. And I'm like, who would say that to their husband? She's that desperate to pull him out of his misery hole. She's like giving him permission to have an affair. And it's just hilarious. So I've watched all of those now, and I did a bit of research the other day and found out that the next series has been commissioned. So the funny thing is, my mum and dad didn't realise that it's all staged. Like, I know it's probably based loosely, but like even all the times where she goes to visit a school for her daughter, this private school, and the teacher's a bit like, because she's got this kind of very northern accent. All right, I'm Lucy, I'm from Hull, and the teacher's a bit like, she's from London, and she's like looking down her nose at her. And I said to my dad, you do know that teacher is an actor. It's all been sketched. And my dad was like, what? And so he didn't understand that the whole thing was sketched. So I thought that was funny. But Motherland is just another one that any mum can relate to, especially the mum in it that's just always stressed. She's trying to work and balance childcare at the same time. And I think, and then they've got the PTA mums who all meet in this group organising cake sales, and that's basically their whole life. And then you've got this poor other mum who's trying to work and balance the childcare at the same time, and no one kind of gives her a look in, and things are always going wrong for her. So that's something that's funny, but then at the same time it's quite heartwarming as well, because you just want things to go okay for this poor mum who's every day is a juggling act for her.
Awesome. I must check that out. Both of them actually. I've seen clips of Meet the Richardsons.
Have you?
Yeah, on Dave. Yeah, because we I watch Dave a lot with my dad.
Yeah.
When I'm around his. So yeah, I've seen clips, but I haven't actually watched the full show yet. But I will
In
do.
his pub in his garden.
No, no,
Yeah.
it was the clips were them on the couch and just like
Oh.
sniping at each other. So
Yeah.
yeah, which is still pretty funny in itself.
Yeah.
So, do you approach roles in short films differently to TV show roles?
I guess it depends on the genre. I don't think so. No, I think the essence of everything I've been taught is to try and bring something of yourself to the character. And now, back in the day, years and years ago, I always thought that acting was being somebody else. So you put yourself to one side and you would just become another person. But it's not that. I've learned that if you can bring something of yourself to a character, you're going to give that interpretation so much more authenticity. And it's all about being real for me. So I would exercise that discipline in a short film or in a TV series. Exactly the same discipline. The only times I would change my skill set would be for theatre, stage.
Yeah, because with theatre you have to project to the back, right? When you're performing live.
Yeah, to an audience. So you have to think about the audience and what their response is going to be. So it would be okay for me to rehearse my lines, for example, for theatre in a mirror. Because I might do this at one point, or I might do this, or I might, like be a bit more theatrical because I want to make the audience laugh or whatever. But with short film or TV, the camera's not there, the crew's not there. I've got to get into a zone. I've got to do a lot of preparation for whatever the motivation is for that character. And I'm not, the minute I start worrying, what's the cameraman think of my performance, or what's everyone thinking, I've lost it. So I've got to be so into it. And I love that. That's why I love TV more, because it's just an escapism for me. I love to be able to deliver that performance without worrying what anyone's thinking, and then watching it back and thinking, wow, I nailed it.
Cool. Who inspires you in the industry?
Ooh. I love Judi Dench, Mel Streep. Yeah, Judi Dench, Mel Streep.
A couple of big hitters there.
Yeah, and I also really like Barbra Streisand. Yeah, so kind of like the oldies. And funnily enough, I like some of the old actors in Coronation Street. And I know that people are probably going to judge me for that because it's a soap and it's kind of gone a bit off on a tangent. But I think some of the old actors in that, the lady that plays Rita, for example, in The Shop, and the older lady that's just joined that's got the dog, Cerberus. I just think the comedy is just amazing. So yeah, I think a lot of the oldies I like. Mel Streep is just, she's fantastic. I don't know whether you saw her performance of Into the Woods.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, that was probably one of my best, where she plays the wicked witch, wicked stepmother. I just loved everything about it. That. Just sold it for me. I've watched that about 5 times.
Okay. Well, I was actually when the year that came out, I was at the press conference.
Were you?
Yeah, there were 2 press conferences for that. One with Meryl and one without. So yeah, that was pretty cool to sit in a room with her.
Oh, she is just, talk about going to another level and going into a zone. She was just in the zone that she was in. And just that kind of relationship that she's got with her daughter, it's that kind of possessiveness. I really liked that about her. So although she was wicked, she just had that possessive desire to be close to her daughter all the time and to almost control her. And I just thought, yeah, I just loved that. I loved everything about that film. There's some fantastic actors in that film, but Mel Streep did it for me. And the girl that played Red Riding Hood was also good. I don't know her name. She was brilliant. In fact, I think my daughter could have done a good job of that as well. She's just finished 9 episodes on a new Channel 5 TV series.
Nice.
So she's really performed. She's just really come into her own, especially over lockdown with her acting. She's just a natural.
Nice.
Really nice to see.
Nice one. When's her series out?
It's already out. So she's had 7 episodes started airing in November. So Don Warrington was playing her granddad, and Sally Lindsay was playing the voiceover for Halifax, which is like a little rabbit. So Mimi, my daughter, plays Connie, and most of it's done with the green screen on a sofa. So she sits next to Grandpa, who's played by Don Warrington, and she will ask Grandpa, how is electricity made? And then he'll tell her like a really funny story that's not right, how electricity is made, and they go off on this like little journey. And then Halifax the rabbit, voiceover Sally Lindsay, will then say, that's not how electricity is made. Connie, do you want to know how electricity is really made? And Mimi will say, yes, please. And then they'll tell it. So it's kind of little bit of fun and a little educational as well. So so I think there's just 2 more episodes to air this year on that. And I'm hoping they do a series 2 for that.
Wonderful. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Really
So with the popularity of streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus, and them being the lifeblood like over the last year and a half, what do you think the future of cinema is?
I think the cinema's still going to go strong. I mean, cinemas have opened again, haven't they? But do you think? Are you saying because of streaming, you think people?
Yeah, because there's been like over the last year and a half, there's been a boom of streaming. Like Bridgerton was a huge series. The Crown's still huge, and that will always be huge. And like films like I haven't seen it yet, but the films like The Tomorrow War are going straight to streaming, and like even Disney Plus are doing Disney are doing like day and date with like not day and Premier Access with like Black Widow. There was like 2 days. I think it was. I think it comes onto Disney Plus tomorrow, and it's already in cinemas.
And
so,
Loki's on these. Well, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's a TV series.
I mean, I think it comes down to personal preference and what people want. It's like I could have my hairdresser come to my house to do my hair, but sometimes I want to book in and go to the salon because I want the experience. So I think, and also if you're comparing the cinema to something like the theatre, which I know you probably can't, but I think a lot of people are still going to want to, like I would like to take my daughter out for a treat. And I would probably, if I was going to take her somewhere, I'd probably take her to the cinema. My mum took them to the cinema to see Peter Rabbit too. I mean, equally, they can watch, even if they could watch these things at home, it's a nice treat, isn't it, to go to the cinema?
Absolutely.
So I don't think cinemas will die down. I mean, like, it's like, for example, Hamlet was out on television, wasn't it? And I just couldn't get into it. I would have had to go to the theatre to watch that. That's a theatrical performance. Similarly with Cats, me and my daughter went to watch Cats at the cinema. And I was just like, this is so much better in the theatre. So I think it comes down to personal preference. But I would much rather go out to the cinema or to the theatre than staying at home, especially after the year we've had.
Absolutely.
Looking at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. going back to the cinema. It's on my list. I haven't done it yet, but I do want to. I should go next week, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about cost? I mean, streaming, is there much difference in cost? Because I know you can go to the cinema now for probably like £10. I mean, I've had offers on my phone, like 2 tickets for £10.
All right. I think that's just to entice people to go back.
No.
I'm not quite sure. Next week, if it happens, I'll be going to IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it happens,
Yeah,
it should happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And they've got some really nice, luxurious cinemas now, especially near where we live, where you can kind of have the VIP treatment and your food and your drink brought to you. So those are always good. To give the whole sort of experience another dimension to the experience. Yeah.
Cool. So just before I let you go, where can we find you online to keep up with everything you're doing?
Instagram's probably my favorite platform at the minute. So that is Sarah Mhlanga. So Sarah with a H. Mhlanga is Mhlanga. So Sarah Mhlanga official. I had to call it official because I had quite a few fakos trying to steal my page.
Right.
So yeah, Sarah Mhlanga official is probably where you're going to find most of my posts. What I've been up to, try and update that daily.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you for speaking to me today. This has been wonderful.
Thanks, Marc.
Yeah, good luck with everything, and look out for your films and your TV shows, and I'm crossing my fingers for The Crown for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca. With the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels. It's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.